From her early days as a budding starlet, growing up in Vancouver, Canada, to her many tumultuous relationships and controversies, this is a shocking, untold story of Pamela Anderson. Pamela Anderson's story begins in a small town of Ladysmith, British Columbia, Canada. It was the perfect place for her to grow up, or so it seemed. Born on July 1st, 1967, she was raised by hard-working parents Barry and Carol, alongside her older brother Jerry. But behind the idyllic facade of a small town, Anderson's life was anything but perfect. Her father battled with alcoholism, leaving her mother to work tirelessly to keep the family afloat. Anderson vividly remembers the nights when her mother would be in tears and her father would be nowhere to be found. It was a childhood filled with pain and worry, but her parents did their best to create a safe environment for their children. Sadly, their efforts were not enough to shield Anderson from the harsh realities of life. At a young age, she experienced things that no child should ever have to endure. She was abused by her babysitter when she was just 6 years old, and again by the older brother of a friend's boyfriend at the age of 12. If that wasn't enough, she was also abused by her boyfriend and his friends during her school years. These horrific experiences left Anderson feeling like she was stuck in a dark, lonely hole. But despite feeling alone and helpless, she was determined to turn her life around, and she found solace in the world of sports, swimming, volleyball, and even basketball. After graduating from high school, Anderson moved to Vancouver to work as a fitness instructor and at a tanning salon. It wasn't until 1988 that things began to turn around for her. And then fate stepped in. While attending a Canadian Football League game, wearing a cut-off Labatt's Beer t-shirt, a camera operator noticed her beautiful face and projected her image on the stadium's video board. This chance encounter led the beer company to hire her as a model in 1989. Little did Anderson know that this was just the beginning of an incredible journey. Soon after, Playboy magazine came calling, asking her for an audacious photo shoot that would put her on the cover of their October 1989 issue. The combination of her beauty, the daring outfit, and the undeniable charisma made Anderson a sensation overnight. Her success with Playboy led to her becoming one of their most popular centerfolds, and she continued appearing on the covers over the years. But that was just the beginning. Anderson's newfound fame opened many doors for her, including acting roles in both TV and film. In 1990, she made her acting debut with a guest role on Charles in Charge, which was followed by small parts in Married with Children and other shows. However, it wasn't until 1991, when Anderson was cast as the Tool Time Girl on the Home Improvement show, that things really began taking off for her. Just when Anderson thought she couldn't possibly get any luckier, she was offered a role on the iconic show Baywatch in 1998. As her fame grew, Anderson took on various movie roles that similarly relied on her attractiveness rather than character. But as she basked in the limelight, her personal life became a roller coaster ride that nobody could have predicted. Anderson's tumultuous relationship with the Motley Crue drummer Tommy Lee was perhaps one of the most dramatic and talked about romances in Hollywood. The couple met at a music awards show in 1994, went on their first date shortly after that, and were married just 2 weeks later. The pair welcomed their first son, Brandon, in June 1996 and had a second child, Dylan, just 9 months later. But sadly, the marriage was already on rocky ground by then. Anderson filed for divorce that November, citing irreconcilable differences, and publicly accused Lee of assault. Her claims were later proven to be true when video footage surfaced showing the musician hitting his wife with a closed fist. However, this wasn't the only scandal associated with the couple. It also made headlines in 1995 when a sex tape featuring Anderson and Lee was stolen from their home by an electrician who was hired to repair some wiring. The tape was subsequently released online and sold through various outlets, becoming one of the most popular celebrity sex tapes ever. The scandal was huge. It seemed as if everyone wanted a glimpse of Anderson's intimate moments with her husband. While she continued to appear on Baywatch and in movies, including Barbed Wire in 1996, the so-called sex tape for a time came to overshadow her career and her life. But despite the controversy, Anderson remained strong, continuing to work and putting her children first, citing Tommy Lee's behavior as a reason. The allegations of physical and mental abuse were shocking, but what Anderson revealed in court was even more alarming. As she recounted the 1998 altercation that led to her divorce, Anderson revealed how Lee attacked her while she was holding their newborn son. It was a brutal assault that showed complete disregard for her safety and that of her children. But that was just the beginning of Lee's reported reckless behavior. Anderson went on to accuse Lee of showing their sons graphic videos and forcing them to call her a freak. She described how the boys suffered from nightmares and pleaded not to go to their father's house. Anderson feared for their emotional well-being while in Lee's care, and ultimately she was granted sole custody of her children after months of court battles. But just as Anderson's custody battle ended, a new challenge arose. In March 2002, she publicly revealed that she had contracted hepatitis C, a serious condition that could lead to long-term health problems and death. The cause? Sharing a tattoo needle with Tommy Lee during their infamous honeymoon tattoo session in 1996. At first, Anderson was hesitant to speak out about her diagnosis due to the stigma surrounding the virus, but something inside her pushed her to break her silence and share her story. And so she bravely stepped forward, becoming a beacon of hope for others who suffered in silence. In 2016, Anderson revealed just how dire her diagnosis had been, admitting that doctors had given her a grim prognosis. They had told her she only had 10 years to live. It was a chilling moment for the world, but not for Anderson. She refused to give up without a fight, and her tenacity paid off. After 15 long years, she received a miraculous cure after completing a 12-week regimen with an experimental drug called Sovaldi, costing a staggering $100,000. However, for Anderson, the worst was far from over. In 2012, she received a devastating blow when the U.S. government claimed her stunning Malibu home, forbidding her from selling it. How did this happen? It all began with a scandalous report by TMZ that Anderson had been hit with 2 tax liens totaling over $370,000. The first lien was filed by the IRS for unpaid taxes in 2011, amounting to $259,395.75. The second lien, filed by California State, stated that she owed $112,118.90 for the same year. Desperate to clear her name, Anderson spoke out to people and the Mirror, insisting that she was not avoiding any tax obligation. But things only got worse from there. Years later, Anderson found herself on California's top 500 delinquent taxpayers list, and the IRS filed a staggering $1.7 million lien against her, leading to her Malibu home being seized. Anderson refused to let this setback bring her down. With the help of a lawyer, she navigated the complex legal system and in 2017 paid off all her debts in full, finally securing the right to keep her beloved home. However, reports suggest that she still owes around $1 million in back taxes for other years. It seems that no matter what life throws at Anderson's way, she continues to face it head-on, proving that she's a force to be reckoned with. Though her life has been filled with its fair share of heartache and tragedy, Anderson is still going strong, and that's something we can all admire. If you enjoy this video, there's a good chance you'll also enjoy the one showing on your screen right now. Click enjoy and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. See you on the next one.